Hi, I'm talking Nikon again today, and some of you might have watched my previous videos on various Nikon cameras, from the Nikon F, the Nikon Mat, the FE, and this camera here, which came out, this is the F801s. The original 801 came out in about 1988, and this came out in 91 and continued for about 4 years. Just before this model, we had an interesting camera called the 401, which was a high quality Nikon. And in about 86 they brought out the 601, which was one of their first automatic focus cameras. If we look back to the 1980s, there was a great interest in automation. To begin with, the professionals were very wary of cameras which had autofocus on, but as soon as they started using them, they realised what a bonus it was, especially the newspapers. So we get to the 801S, which is just slightly faster on the automatic focusing, and this was at the time quite a top-end Nikon. It took over in one sense from the FE2, which was a very good camera, a very traditional camera. This is far more technical and far more automotive and far more new electronic functions on it. It's a very nice camera to use, I've discovered. Things I very much like about it is obviously you've got this function between manual focus, single shot focus and continuous focus, so when you're pressing it's changing the focus. You've got a useful socket here. You've got nice modes. You've got manual, a program, 2 program modes. My apologies, 3 program modes, aperture priority, shutter priority, and as I said, manual. You get excellent viewfinder information here. You get really good viewfinder information through the viewfinder. You obviously get your aperture, your meter reading. The one thing I was a bit disappointed by, which is a slightly odd thing and was sorted out in the F80 and F100 cameras, the way the viewfinder is with the information, if you move your eye a little bit up or down, you can miss that information screen. It's a bit odd. Your eye's got to be in the right place in the viewfinder to see that information. If you've got the camera slightly angled, you can miss that information. So the top plate, we've got a LED with the relevant information, an on and off switch, the rewind button. On here you've got to press 2 rewind buttons to get the film rewound at the end of the film. It's not automatically does it, you have to tell it to. This camera has got a film in, so I can't demonstrate putting a film in, but it's very straightforward. Film goes in there, leader there by a little red dot, close the back, and hey presto, there you are. The modes are, as I said, explained. The ME got me slightly confused to begin with, but this is a lovely feature that you don't find on many cameras. It's multiple exposure, so you can take one image on top of the other, and you can do that up to, you press it and set how many you want to do, and you can set up to 9 multiple exposures. You've got a choice of drive, so it's single, continuous drive there, and you can also set, because this was at a period in which DS films were just coming in, you can set your ISO either manually, or you can set it that it will set the DS. What I would warn you about, because I didn't realise this, if you're going to set it automatically, you need to make sure it is set here on iOS DS. If we don't do that, it won't automatically recognise the DX setting. And I exposed 100 ISO as a 200, but it was fine because I realised and did the adjustment in the setting in the developing. So that's something you've just got to check there, that the ISO is on DX if you're using DX film. Here we have spot focusing or a matrix focusing, and that is, when I say about it, there's a lot to this camera. Really crucial thing I did forget to mention was you have a depth of field preview here. So again, you can check your depth of field, whether everything's in focus or out of focus according to your aperture. The lenses are the auto-focusing lenses, and they are also the lenses which still had the aperture on the bow. The later lenses, the aperture is not on the bow. This was a semi-professional camera and was quite often used by professionals as a second body. The last feature of it, I think, is excellent and might sound, you know, what is he going on about, but batteries. It takes AA batteries. So you haven't got expensive 123 camera batteries, you've got bog standard AA batteries, which I think is a really useful bonus. And that is about it. Aperture lock on the back as well. So you've got, I think you've got everything you want in a good single lens reflex film camera. The prices of these are actually still quite reasonable. Often it's the hardest thing is getting a lens, because a lot of the lenses have been separated from the cameras and sold on. So I would expect to pay, and I know it's a very wide range, but anything between £20 to £100 for one in really good condition, perhaps with a box. The lenses, again, I would expect to find Nikon zoom lenses from £30 to £100. It can again vary so much on the condition. But if you are looking for a good quality film camera, these seem to be reliable. I would check the shutter as well, but I don't think you can go too wrong with a Nikon F801, either the 801 or the 801s. Thanks for watching. Bye.